In honor of the new year, I thought to share some of my favorite prints of 2023. Sorry in advance, I literally forget where to look in the camera, so my eyes are all over the place. Filming on my iPad this time, so where do I look? Here at me? At the camera? But apparently when I look at the camera, it looks like I'm looking off to the side, so you tell me. Number 7 goes to... Check it. Last year, I helped my friend upgrade his Guitar Hero controller by 3D printing new frets. These stock controllers use flexible membranes and conductive pads for the fret buttons. Hobby CNC offers replacement fretboards that instead use mechanical switches, which not only feel better when pressed, but are often more reliable. The Hobby CNC project has a selection guide to choose the right fretboard and fret STLs, but the provided model didn't exactly fit how we wanted to. So through the magic of CAD, I took a few measurements, made my own model, and we printed it in fun PLA colors and installed it on the guitar. So much better. Number 6 goes to my DED Benchy. And what do I mean by DED? So DED stands for Directed Energy Deposition. If you haven't heard of it, it's a common form of metal additive manufacturing that's often used to build or repair parts. Why is it on my list? For those of you who don't want the full story, because it is about to get a little technical here, feel free to skip to this timestamp for the next top prints. At work, we develop a software that creates toolpaths for DED parts. Think Cura Slicer, except highly customizable, non-planar, multi-axis, and with lasers. We've had a lot of requests to make our software compatible with desktop filament machines, such as an Ender. To make our software compatible with an Ender, we need to define a new machine and machine controls based on its build volume and nozzle diameter, which is similar to a machine profile in a slicer, and then make sure our toolpath is outputted in a G-code flavor, in this case Marlin, understandable to our printer. So that's where I came in. For this project, I needed to take what works for our laser systems and convert it to be readable by an Ender 3 or material extrusion system. So to do that, I needed to get rid of the laser commands and anything related to carrier gases, add bed temperature, extruder temperature, and fan M codes, cook up a cumulative E-value formula, and dial in retract settings. All these things went into a post file, which then the post file spits out G-code, including the Ender's custom start and end G-codes. So these were the first few tests I did, and you can see first couple ones I definitely didn't have any retraction because it was just printing during all of my rapid moves, which definitely don't want stringing like this. So this was my series of tests for dialing in the retraction settings. So why retraction settings are a little bit finicky is because when you retract, you're basically pulling the filament up out of where it's heating. So when you do that really quickly and very often, you can cause clogs in your nozzle, and you definitely don't want that, especially during a print. When I dialed in these settings, I moved to benchies to kind of challenge the G-code I was generating. So the benchies started off very, very bumpy. As you can see, I was having some over extrusion issues, which directly attributes to the flow factor I was using in my E-value calculation. Peep the E-value formula I found in some Stack Overflow post. I kept on carrying through with tests, modifying the E-value formula I was using, as well as temperature I was printing my material at to kind of help with extrusion. Then you can kind of see in these 3 prints I was having some serious issues with my Ender. I don't know if any of you have had these troubles where you get these like gnarly layer shifts, but I then also tried printing using Cura and it was still happening. So I literally have no clue why this was happening here. If any of you know why, please let me know. But at the end of it all, my last benchy looked something like this, which I'll add like close-up photos here so you can actually see better. Number 5 goes to the Think Big mechanism. So this is also a video on my channel. I created this like mini kinetic sculpture, a build your own kit for students to put together to learn about CAM systems and the design for assembly and 3D printing. Number 4 goes to my QR code earrings. earrings I made the night before a Stratus event to wear and kind of like promote my YouTube channel, and then the one video I posted about using Stratus machines, and those earrings did really well. A lot of people quite enjoyed them. I actually submitted those earrings to a Toronto-based magazine, so they are currently in a page of petal projections. That's the first time I've ever been published in a magazine, which is pretty fun. Let me show you the page. So this is the magazine issue. It is Petal Projections Spring 2023, and I'm on page 10. I made this little collage to showcase the earrings. So there are two pieces, this top stud piece and then this bottom like frame that houses the QR code, to which the QR code is only paper so that you could interchange it. I didn't have this machine when I made these, and trying to print the QR code on that machine was giving me such a struggle, so I just ended up printing it out of paper, and these were a lot of fun to wear. I still sometimes wear them to different like networking events. They're great when I don't bring business cards because people can just scan this and visit my socials, which is pretty convenient. My third favorite print of last year has to go to the matching resin printed bow ties I made. So that's also another video on my channel, the boycotting bow ties and 3D printing them. They're just, as you'd assume, resin printed bow ties with little initials on them to match the wearer. They turned out great, and in that project I experimented with different 3D printed clasps and closures for wearing the bow tie, which is summarized in the video if you do want to watch it after this one. Number 2 has to definitely go to my lightning bolt shoes. And those were a last-minute April endeavor 2 days before a robotics competition I was volunteering at. Also made a video on that if you want to check it out. I actually still have a working lightning bolt. So this is one of the 2 lightning bolts that I had safety pinned to my Converse, and they light up like a neon sign. They looked really cool on the shoe. To anyone who's ever worked with these LED filaments, please let me know how to solder to these because I have no idea what's positive and negative on this filament, and I'd like to reuse some of these for a project. Alright, last but not least, my top print. My most favorite print of 2023 has to go to the props that I made for my friend currently attending film school. I'm not going to give too many details until the short film comes out, but essentially my friend created his own superhero and required props, including an action figure of his superhero and a villain face mask. Another one of my friends is a huge cosplayer, so we worked together to create this villain mask, and then after printing it on this machine, sent it over to him, to which he painted and made super smooth. Like, the paint job on the mask turned out beautiful. And then the figurine was built using a Thingiverse model of a posable figurine, to which at the scale I printed it, the joints didn't work very well, so then I ended up using like the 3D printing pen to glue the joints in a superhero position, and then we used model magic to kind of smooth out the surface and then paint the figurine. So the figurine project was the first time I tried using a 3D printer pen, and to anyone who's used that before, the filament comes out so fast. I had such a hard time making the surface very smooth, so it came out looking not good. The model magic was the saving grace of the project. Hopefully in 2024 I improve in my modeling skills so that I could have just fully modeled the action figure and then printed it on the resin machine for a better finish. And last but not least, this isn't something I printed on a machine, but it is related. Last year I created this little character on my shirt. I named him Frankie, the FDM machine, but if you have any better name suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I also turned this character into a sticker. This was the colorway I went with, to which if you watched my SneakerCon video from last year, that's where this character makes their first appearance. If you would want one of these stickers, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and I would be more than happy to mail one of these out. But yes, those are my top 7 prints of 2023. I am super excited to see what 2024 has in store as my 4th year 3D printing. And I've already started the year experimenting with tricolored filaments and 3D printed fabrics. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.